Hello everyone. For anyone who may not know me, my name is Megha and I'm Nagami's granddaughter. I want to start off and say that I am not an entirely public individual when it comes to sharing about my loved ones, so I'll keep it simple and lighthearted. However, Nagami is the type of person that deserves to be shared and praised because an individual like her is hard to come across, if ever. Before I begin, I want to say that there is no way to touch base on all of her accomplishments and the truly wonderful person she was, but I will try my best for her. Where do I start? How she was an amazing grandmother, friend, mom, or person? To me, she was everything and more. She brought sunshine and comfort to everyone around her. All while contently lifting the spirits of others. My Nagami was by far the most thoughtful, considerate, and big-hearted person I have ever met. The way she handles situations with such obstinacy, yet still remains the most loved person in the room, astonishes me. But as much as she was tenacious, she was still selfless and full of genuine concern to all who encounter it. I can't even count how many times she must have thanked me for the most minuscule things. As most of you know, I was very close to Nagami, but she wasn't the grandma you see every holiday or once in a while. She was my bestest friend, and in the blink of an eye, she went from my constant to no more. I hadn't lived one day on this earth without her warm embraces, ear-to-ear smiles, constant worries, and truly thoughtful messages. So these past few weeks have been extremely hard, as I can assure they were all difficult for you. I can't wrap my head around how someone can be such a consistent yet impactful figure in so many people's lives, even from the confines of her wheelchair. Every single trip or activity I would participate in, she would constantly be asking me how it is going and of course sending me one of her infamous collages, along putting aside the same effort to do the same for all of her loved ones. She unfailingly puts others before herself in every scenario, simple as that. Unfortunately, the reality of the world is that people are selfish, yet I can't seem to locate a selfish bone in my Nagami. She was an authentic woman who was always advocating for love, regardless of all the adversities that life threw at her. No matter how much she was knocked down, she came back even more compassionate and doting. That is a real superpower. Due to her selfless nature, I believe she stood as a strong pillar for our entire community and lived to make all of our lives better. She was my guardian angel, and I consider myself extremely lucky to have been loved and cherished by her. I can't explain how remarkable of a person she was, and I hope to one day make her proud. I was always in denial that one day I would live without my Nagami because the thought of not having her was so unthinkable that I never got to say my last words. So I'm not sure if you're listening or where you are, but I have to express my love for you one more time. You are my reason to smile, my breath of fresh air, and someone I could always count on. I miss you more than you can imagine, Nagami. I miss how passionately you would squeeze and kiss my hand any time before I left the house. I wish I could give you one last tight bear hug. Thank you for everything, and especially teaching me the art of caring for others. I wouldn't be the person I was today without you. I love you. There are nights when I go to bed thinking about how I'll never be able to see her smile again and be wrapped up in one of her tender hugs, and the only thing that gives me solace is that my Nagami is at peace now, and she's not in pain. Now it is my turn to be selfless and take after her. To be the person she is one day is most definitely impossible, but is what I strive to one day be. Lastly, I am so grateful to all of you for coming here today. But one thing I ask of all of you is that we never forget her and make sure to treat each other with the same love and compassion and genuinity that she has to us. Thank you.
can't really say too many words. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Shruti. I'm her eldest granddaughter. Thank you all so much for coming. All of your presence here is really a testament to Nagarathna's small but impactful mark on our world. The past few days have been a lot about loss, but as we grieved, I realized that this indescribable sadness is really just a result of endless laughter, joy, and love. Great sadness is definitely a burden, but it's only the result of decades of happiness. It's made up of years of after-school Chinese lunch buffets at Lucy Ho when Chichi didn't notice. It's marked by the multiple times she ate pepperoni pizza under the false impression it was just really juicy carrots. It was filled with our random traffic citations she would help me pay off before Mom and Dad would notice. It's stamped with a bucket full of goodnight gifts and personalized collages that can brighten any day. It's packed with endless nights of sage advice and quiet wisdom for all of life's little problems. I could go on, as I'm sure many of you could. It's hard to sum up that kind of happiness. It's hard to even put it into words. I don't know how to describe her in just 2 dimensions. The world was always just brighter, funnier, and happier with her around. She was like our mini sun. She made everything better. So how can you capture sunshine? How do you describe it? You can't. All you can do is feel its warmth, and that's exactly how we all feel today. Each of you have touched her life, and she in return has touched yours. Together, we bask in that light. They often say that life isn't measured by the number of breaths that They often say that life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but rather the number of moments that take your breath away, and that couldn't be more true for our Nagami. She conquered a new country and built this amazing community. She proved so many wrong and was a role model for generations below. She raised her children and then her children's children. She was the first and still is the only person in our family to touch all 7 continents. She battled a tough diagnosis with a constant smile, no matter how hard it was for her. She led a big, bright, beautiful life, and I'm so honored to have been a part of it. The last few months were really tough, but I'm hoping you're smiling for real right now. I love you, I miss you. Prana, Preeti, Prem, always.
Sorry, there's a stool here. I will cry during this speech, so just a forewarning for everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate Nagami's life and legacy with us. It's hard to stand here and pretend I'll ever have the words to describe the paragon of perfection that she was. She was an all-encompassing woman who embodied the ideals of kindness, humility, generosity, and wisdom. She may have been fiercely independent and stubborn as well, but she took every step with good intention and care. These aforementioned qualities are what led to this community of friends and family she's amassed. I call you family because that's what you are. When she came to this country with no one and nothing, you all supported her as she found her footing. She would remind us of this constantly, and her dedication to each and every one of you could never be compromised due to this. She loved you as she did us, which is what made her so special, and we thank you for being there for her when we couldn't. No matter who you were, where you came from, or what you did, she connected with you judgment-free and made you feel cherished and loved. This came in the forms of going to milestone events in your or even your children's lives, being a dependable ride whenever you needed one from the airport, or opening her home and heart to you when you needed it the most. No matter what it was, she'd come off a night shift, change, and head right back out on no sleep if it meant she could be there for you. She often did that for me, coming to Grandparents' Day, picking me up from school, or making secret Burger King runs while taking me to one of the many sports I played. She lived her life in sacrifice to others, which is why we all aptly named her our very own Mother Teresa. As someone who had the honor of being her granddaughter, I can't begin to explain what she meant to me. Ask anyone here and they'll tell you there was a special bond between me and her. We were kindred spirits. She basically raised me, and I often considered her my actual mother. My mom agreed. She was everyone's mother, everyone's Nagumami. So much so, even my friends called her this when they came over. It's easy to say she was my everything, because she really was. She was my mother, my grandmother, my friend, confidant, teacher, role model, and so much more. She taught me what it meant to be good and kind, and to live my life the way I wanted, as long as I was happy. She cheered me on in everything I wanted to do and picked me up when I felt defeated or down. In recent months, she became famous for her iconic collages. If you were fortunate enough, you got a customized one for your birthday or some significant event in your life, made with your pictures and other images or emoticons she found online. She even made them for the bad days, trying to uplift your spirit with flowers, birds, and a hand-picked quote of the many she had cataloged. Even on her hardest days, she went out of her way to make others feel seen and loved. Living with her for the past 8 months was both amazing and trying for our household. She would be there, a constant in her wheelchair, at her fixed spot at the dining table. I would come downstairs and she'd be waiting for me, mainly for her coffee and breakfast, but she was always the first face I saw. She'd be fixated on the Indian drama of the month, and I'll never forget the way her face lit up when we came down in the morning. She was so particular about how her food and drink were prepared, down to the type of spoon I was allowed to give her. It drove me mad. But it was a character unique to her, and only she was allowed to act as such. It became our daily morning routine, and now my days feel a bit more empty when I come down in the morning to an empty spot at the dining table. Sorry. One thing I'll never forget is our late night conversations, talking about anything and everything. She'd become my personal sensei and life guru at midnight, advising me on how to deal with any difficulties I'd be going through. Even if she couldn't help me, she'd be the shoulder to lean on and a sound box for all my worries. Her classic trait was to take my side in every argument, even if I was wrong, and be my steadfast backup. She made me feel strong when I was at my weakest, and I know her spirit is my strength even now. Since she passed, I still talk to her every day. I sit in her place at the dining table and talk just like old times. Only difference is she's not there to talk back, but I still feel her there. I know to some of you her passing came as a shock, but I want to put you all at ease in saying she's really at peace now. The past few months were incredibly trying for her, and as her family, watching her endure all that pain on her own was difficult. The one thing that brings me peace at the end of the day is she's breathing easy now. No tubes, medications, or oxygen is in her way of being at peace, and for that, I am grateful. If there's one thing I know, she rejoiced in seeing her loved ones happy, and she would want minimal tears and joyful celebration today. A little piece of her lives on in each one of us, either through memory or one of the hundreds of trinkets she's gifted over the years. As for me, I'm so grateful for the years and years of memories I've had with her, and I promise to uphold her legacy through the numerous values she's instilled in me. I know you'll always be here with me, Nagami, looking out for me and watching over me. I hope to make you proud in these coming years, and I know we'll meet one day again. For now, breathe easy. Enjoy seeing Amama, Kantaka, all of our tatas, and everyone else up there with you. We'll handle things earthside. Love you forever.
Before I begin, I want to read a note that one of Nagu Auntie's very close friends at work, Marcia, has written. Our relationship with Nagu from the Daniel family. When I first met Nagu, I knew she was one of God's angels. I didn't know the impact that God had planned for us, assigning her into me and my family's life. I had the pleasure, honor, and privilege of working with Nagu for over 22 years at St. Joseph's Hospital on 4 Main. Nagu has always been an inspiration towards my family and I. When my mother passed away, Nagu was right there, no questions asked. It didn't matter what the situation was. Nagu was always present with her contagious smile, beautiful old soul, her love, and her affection. I finally realized Nagu was truly God sent. Nagu would help any individual that crossed her pathway. Nagu was always just one phone call away, and I would do the same for her. I had to rename her to Mother Teresa because of the person she was to the world. Her impact that she left is still on multiple continents and will forever remain there. I thank her for being a part of my life. I know we all miss her and love her dearly, but she is in a better place. Nagu is currently looking down on us with her contagious smile. Excellence, extraordinary, exemplar, scholar, epitome. These are just some of the words that only begin to scratch the surface at describing how amazing and impactful Nagu's character was. We will forever love and miss her. She will never be forgotten. Nagu holds a special place in my and my family's heart. Nagu, your assignment is done, and I know that our Heavenly Father is saying, well done, my great and faithful child. I'm well pleased. Rest in paradise, our Mother Teresa. Nagu, love always, Marcia and family. Thank you, Marcia. My dearest darling Nagu Auntie, finally the time is here today for me to say your eulogy and for you to hear it. You yearned for me to write it, to share it with you, and to attest my feelings long before it was time. Maybe it was the universe's way of getting me ready for a day and time when I would no longer have you in my life. I told you then, how could I write your eulogy when you were alive? It has been almost 13 days since you've left us, and I still struggle to write the words that I'm about to say. Our journey together started when I was born. Even though I was born to a different mother, you took charge of me instantly. You carried me on your hip and walked miles in the blistering sun just to show me off to your friends. You made my favorite dessert and fed me secretly so I would first get my fill before sharing it with others. You offered to adopt me legally so my passage to America would be easy. Such was your love for me. At the young age of 20, you took me under your roof and guided my first steps in this foreign land we call home now. You paved the path I would walk, always ensuring that there were no rocks or thorns in my way. Your fierce protection scared me at times, but it never changed the way you loved me. I was yours by destiny now, and you would do all that you had in your power to safeguard me, raise me, and teach me the ways of this world. I was witness to and in awe of your unshakable ethics and values, and watched and observed how it would guide you to always do what's right. You astounded me every step of the way, making me realize that when your core is in the right place, the universe will align itself to help you meet your purpose. And what a purpose you had. Your directive was simple: love, love one and all. Selflessly, mindlessly, foolishly, and wholeheartedly. That was you. You lived this truth every second of every minute of every hour of every day, month, and year of your life. You embraced the world around you with compassion and authenticity, changing hearts and changing lives wherever you went and whoever you touched. I watched you quietly on the sidelines, blown away by your unconditional love for all. Such was your greatness, Nagarathna. They say a journey is measured in friends, not in miles. I wish you could look around this room and those that are watching online. You're right. Your biggest wealth was not rubies and diamonds, it was always your friends. Your ability to forgive was your most noble trait. You showed no signs of triviality and went straight to the core of what mattered. You confronted those who hurt you and quickly made peace, for you said everyone is meant to be loved, and hate was a silly, useless emotion. You stood by those who had once deserted you and loved them back till they could not help but love you more. Daddy always said this was a trait of the Guru's sisters, loyal to the end. You proved him right to your very end. You showed me that if you're true, then there is nothing to fear. Truth does not mind being questioned, ultimately proving peace of mind is the best companion for a good night's sleep. We were not ardent followers of religion or God, but you showed us every day that true religion consists of having a good heart and using it to help those around you. No matter what life served you, you rose out of it, shining, happy, and ready to take on the next challenge. Your spirit could never be thwarted or subdued, for your faith in the universe was so strong. You know this, but I will share it with others here, that I was your biggest critic. We would fight about all things under the sky. I would scold you for not sleeping after working a 12-hour night shift, yet readily offering to go give an airport ride to a friend at 9 a.m. You would offer to cook a meal for someone sick, even though you yourself were not able to do it. You used us as minions to do your calls and check on people you cared. You relentlessly reminded us that although we were family, your friends came before us, for they were here beside you when you were here alone. You always said those who are hardest to love need it the most. Your loyalty to your friends surprised many, but you quietly stood your ground and did what you always believed. Love, love one and all. Your loss is immeasurable, but we take comfort in knowing you left a battalion of friends who understood your love and are now ready to share it back with us. In your personal quota, God had given you an abundance of love, possibly a few gazillion boxes of it, I'm sure. But before death could take you away, you made sure you gave all the love there was to give from your end. Sthira, the ability to hold steady, no matter when or what the circumstances. You were my sthira, a pillar of strength and courage. When I got a full scholarship to University of Florida, you put your foot down and refused to send me so far. 2 hours was too far for you. You said emphatically, your parents sent you here to me and I'm not sending you anywhere. I reluctantly decided on USF, where I continue to work after 26 years today. I thrived in your care, and I spent 6 wonderful years as a single girl seeking adventures, building a strong work ethic, and living life to the fullest. When I married Himanand, apart from an entry-level job, I had nothing to support his education or our life in the US. The ground shook under me, and I trembled at what I was about to face. How was I going to get my husband on his feet with nothing but you by my side? Now I realize how silly I was. All I ever needed was you by my side. Through thick and thin, you stood by me and Himanand like a rock that would not budge no matter the storm. You were the steady guiding force for both my sister and my family, shining your light so we could set forth our own paths. Your pride in our achievements never stopped. You loved hearing what accolades we garnered. You wanted to see every email of praise from my boss. You lit up when one of Himanand's patients praised his work. You attended every award ceremony for our kids. You showered us with this affection incessantly, rejoicing in our good fortune and well-being. Today, who we are is a direct result of how you carried us on your shoulders. And the magnanimity of it all was that you never rubbed that in our faces, not once, not ever. You never expected anything back and only said that when the time comes, we return the favor to someone else in need. I've said this to you before. You've always been my moral compass, my lighthouse, guiding us away from wrong and gently coaxing us to truth. As we venture into the future without you, I'm once again shaken, but I'm no longer scared. I know that you will continue to be by our side, guiding us through every turmoil and rejoicing in our every happiness. You've touched innumerable lives in your time on this planet, but the 6 lives you have touched the most are that of your grandchildren. They were the beneficiaries of watching a legend in our family, raising them and guiding them wherever and whenever it was needed. Shruti, Neeti, Megha, and Mansi are who they are because of you and your influence over them. You cheered alongside them at every event, and you sided with them against their arguments with their parents. They always knew you had their back no matter what they did. I recall if I ever scolded you in front of Mansi for not sleeping or not taking care of yourself, this tiny tot would come running and cover my mouth to stop me from saying something hurtful. All 4 flourished and thrived in your love and didn't hesitate a single second when called upon to become young caretakers during your last months. The opportunity to serve you has garnered them some amazing karma, and I know you will protect them as they move through this life without you. It is said that Atma or souls are beings encapsulated in human bodies. It is this Atma or energy that drives our actions and determines our path. In your passing, for reasons beyond my comprehension, I have realized that our Atmas had to be connected. Yours, mine, Mummy's, Shantla's are evidence. Just like bees to honey, our Atma from birth pulled to stay close and to remain side by side. You went from a small village to be under your sister's care, and I traveled across the planet to be under your care. Upon Daddy's passing and per his last wish, Mummy came to be with us here till her last days. Shantla, who had taken up another job, decided after a year that she would be in no place but Tappa. Such was the power and pull of your Atma. It pulled us all and anchored us around you. You gave us all Sthira. You attracted everyone with the same mysterious pull. Some of your friendships have lasted more than 50 to 60 years, and some of your co-workers have been in your life for decades on at a time. In the last few days, some have called you a divine being, a devi or goddess, who we had the fortune of living amongst us. Was there divinity in you? Again, I don't know the answers to these questions, but what I do know is this. To us, you were God. You were the force that helped us realize and be our best. You stood over us like a hawk, spanning your wings so you can protect us. Maybe the answer lies in your name. Naga means snake. Ratna means precious gem. Together, Nagarathna means snake's diamond or precious diamond. But who was Naga?
Naga primarily represents rebirth, death, and mortality due to its casting of its skin and being symbolically reborn. The snake also represents freedom in Hindu mythology because it cannot be tamed. I hope if all this were true, you were once again reborn within our family, and that your spirit remains just as untamed and free as you were in this lifetime. Death is like Maya. While it takes away one's Atma, it also gives life clarity. Since losing you, I'm seeing things differently, and yet they were always in plain sight for me to see and understand. Here are some simple yet brilliant insights you taught me. Forgive. Forgive. Holding grudges is a waste of time. Work hard with integrity and values. Never forget your roots, no matter how tall and strong you grow. Lift each other up. Others' joy leads to your own happiness. Connect the dots. Always be willing to reach out and make things happen. When you hug, hug with all your might. And finally, love. Love one and all, no matter what. 2 years back, when a dear friend of the family passed away, I stood here and gave a eulogy for him. You were so touched by my words that you had asked me then to write your eulogy and share it with you. I dismissed your words and said that was not a task I could stand doing. The week before you left us, you reminded me once again if I would do it now. Heartbroken by your request, I decided if not a eulogy, I could always write you a note and tell you what you meant to me. And so I wrote the following few words. In your actual eulogy today, I want these words to be the last words you heard from me, for they were meant then and are meant even more today. I love you forever, Nagarathna. Here goes. Our stories are all written by the Almighty to make us better souls for a greater purpose beyond this life on earth. Your time on this planet has been phenomenal. The lives you have touched and made a difference will live long past you. The lessons you've taught us by your values and ethics brings out the best in all of us. We are nothing without you and others, elders' guidance. Let life and God take you on its intended path. Be free of mind and being. Trust your heart and soul to guide you. Whatever you decide, always know that we're beside you, loving you and cherishing our time with you. Mundina janamadalli, I want you to be in my life. Ashte nanna hase.
Hello everyone. I am Shankla, the eldest niece of Nagu. I was blessed to be with my auntie since the day I was born. She was one of the kindest people that I've ever met in my life. She was our family's matriarch. Like my niece Meg always says, she was our family's bridge, correcting all of us. She was a precious jewel both at home and in her job. Whatever she did, she gave up 100%. Whether it was her family or a stranger, she made an impact on everyone she came across. Even our landscaper, Peter, loved her. And with his last payment, he said to buy flowers for my little lady. This was the kind of person she was. Since her passing away, we've had so many calls, messages, and emails expressing their sincere condolences. When I read them, I could not stop crying with pride that I had such a special person be a part of my life. My husband, Vijay, and my daughters Shruti and Neeti are indebted to her for life. We love you, Nagamami. Nagamma, rest easy.
Thank you all for coming here. It means a lot to her, a lot to us, to bid her the final goodbye. I am Nagu's nephew, Vijay, for those who don't know me. I first met Nagu in 1989 when I got engaged to Shantala. And from that first encounter, I knew she was the kindest person I would ever meet. When Shantala, Shruti, and I came to Tampa, she welcomed us into her home, life, and heart with open arms. And since then, our relationship has been eternal. Although we were not biologically related, she became an elder sister and a mother to me. With her companionship and support, I have yet to come across a person who is as generous and helpful as she is. Very soon, we were dedicated partners in crime too. We both had similar tastes, both in Indian food and our general mindsets. During weekends, she was always the first one to be up and prepared all the ingredients for a particular dish of her liking, and patiently waiting for me to come create it for her. Before the rest of the house woke up, we would have already eaten it and would be enjoying a hot cup of coffee. The camaraderie, kinship, shared affection we developed over years is invaluable to me. And her essence, affection we developed over years is we will forever be ingrained in our hearts. Although she has left us, we will never forget her, and we are at peace knowing she is in a better place. I would like to borrow your attention for another minute. I have a poem which is dedicated to her in Kannada. Enitu ee sambandha. Enitu ee sambandha. Ello hutti, ello ಬೆಳೆದು. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬೆಳೆದು ಆಕಸ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮಿಂದು ಬೆಳೆಯಿತು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅಂದು. ಜೊತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಜನ್ಮ ನೀಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಜೊತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಜನ್ಮ ನೀಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಪರದೇಶದಿ ಆಶ್ರಯ ನೀಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕಳಾದೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಾಯಿಯಾದೆ. ನಿನ್ನ ಅಕ್ಕರೆಯ ನುಡಿ, ಸೌಮ್ಯದ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ನಗುಮುಖ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಹಾಯಕ ಮನೋಭಾವ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಮರೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಿತು ಈ ಸಂಬಂಧ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Thank you, everyone.
Vijay, I'm going to
I'm going to be saying this speech on behalf of Nagami's closest friend, Surajanti. So these are just a few words from her. Hello everyone, my name is Siroja. I am Nagu's oldest friend here in Tampa. I have cherished my friendship with her for over 40 years. She showed me unconditional love. She fed me like a mother, supported me like a sister, and advised me as a friend. You are my backbone in life. Although you have left us, I know you will always be here with me. I will continue loving your family in the same way you did. Nagarathna, you are like the Ratna on the head of the Naga. I'm sure you will shine on us from above, guiding us through the rest of our journeys here on earth. I love you and I miss you. Rest easy.
Thank you all. We're done with the eulogy part, and the next part will be the final rituals. So please, we want us to excuse us for the final rituals. Thank you.
शान्तये गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां विधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। हस्तं प्रक्षाल्य आचम्य केशवाय स्वाहा नारायणाय स्वाहा माधवाय स्वाहा गोविंदाय नमः विष्णवे नमः मधुसूदनाय नमः त्रिविक्रमाय नमः वामनाय नमः श्रीधराय नमः ऋषिकेशाय नमः पद्मनाभाय नमः दामोदराय नमः संकर्षणाय नमः वासुदेवाय नमः प्रद्युम्नाय नमः अनिरुद्धाय नमः पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः अदोक्षयाय नमः नारसिंहाय नमः अच्युताय नमः सनार्दनाय नमः उपेन्द्राय नमः हरये नमः श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। पवित्रं धृत्वा शतंजीव सुखी भव। गोत्र विष्णु गोत्र प्राणायाम अंगुल्याग्रैः नासिकाग्रं संपेद्यं पापनाशनं प्राणायामदं प्रोक्तं ऋषिभिः परिकल्पितं ऋषिभिः परिकल्पितं ओमापो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्मा बुद्भवस्वरं श्री गोविंद गोविंद महाविष्णोः आज्ञेय प्रवर्धमानस्य अद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीय परार्धे श्वेतवराह कल्पे वैवस्वत मन्वन्तरे अष्टाविंशति तमे कलियुगे प्रथमपादे क्रौञ्चद्वीपे रमणकवर्षे ऐन्द्रकखण्डे अमेरिकादेशे अस्मिन् वर्तमाने व्यावहारिक चान्द्रमानेन प्रभवादि षष्टि संवत्सराणां मध्ये प्लवनाम संवत्सरे दक्षिणायने वर्षऋतौ श्रावणमासे कृष्णपक्षे सप्तम्यां पुण्यतिथौ वासरः वासरस्तु स्थिरवासर युक्तायां विष्णुनक्षत्र विष्णुयोग विष्णुकरण एवं गुण विशेषण विशिष्टायां अस्यां पुण्यतिथौ अस्मतु यजमानस्य मातुः विष्णुगोत्रायाः नागरत्न दायी यजमानस्य मातुः प्राण उत्क्रमण काले जन्म प्रभृति एतत् क्षण पर्यन्तं मध्ये वर्तनि काले समस्तविध दोष परिहारद्वारा समस्त पाप क्षयद्वारा विष्णुलोक विष्णुसायुज्य अवाप्ति सिद्ध्यर्थं पंचगव्य प्रोक्षण मेलनं कर्म करिष्यमाणः देह आत्म द्रव्य शुद्ध्यर्थं स्वस्ति पुण्याः वाचनं कर्म करिष्ये। कलशाराधनं करिष्ये। कलशं गन्धाक्षतापत्रपुष्पैः अभ्यर्च्यास्तेनाच्छाद्य कलशस्य मुखे विष्णोः कण्ठे रुद्रसमाश्रितः मूले तत्र स्थितो ब्रह्मा मध्ये मातृगुणाः स्मृताः पुष्पसागराः सर्वे तप्तद्दीपो वसुन्धरा ऋग्वेदो धैर्वेदः सामवेदो त्रवणः अङ्गैश्च दहिताः सर्वे कलशान्तसमाश्रिताः यान्ति देवपूजार्थं द्रुतक्षयकारकाः गङ्गे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिन्धु कावेरी जलेऽस्मिन् सन्निधिं करो यमं वे गङ्गे यमुने सरस्वती शतदृष्टो मुगुं सचता परिष्णिजा सिक्निजा मरुद्धृते वितस्तयार्जीकीये शृणुच्च सुषोमजा ಕೈತಿದ್ರಿ ಹೂ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಪ್ರದಕ್ಷಿಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲಶೋದಕೇನ ಪೂಜಾ ದ್ರವ್ಯಾಣಿ ಸಂಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷ ದೇವಮಂಟಪಂ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರದಕ್ಷಿಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆತ್ಮಾನಂ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷ ಹೂವಲ್ಲೇ ಇಟ್ಟಿ ಆದೌ ನಿರ್ವಿಘ್ನತಾ ಸಿದ್ಧ್ಯರ್ಥಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಿ ಪೂಜಾಂ ಕರಿಷ್ಯೆ ಗಣಪತಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಗಣಾನಾಂ ತ್ವಾ ಗಣಪತಿಂ ಹವಾಮಹೇ ಕವಿಂ ಕವೀನಾಮುಪಮಶ್ರವಸ್ತಮಂ ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠರಾಯಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಾಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಸ್ಪತ ಆನಶೃಣ್ವನ್ನೋತಭಿಸ್ಸೇವ ಸಾಧನಂ अस्मिन् कलशे बिम्बे च काशलिंगे पूजा ಮಾಡಿ ओम भूः भुवः सुवः बुद्भुः स्वः श्री महागणपतिमावाहयामि स्थापयामि पूजयामि वरुणदेवನನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ओम इमं मे वरुणश्रुति हवमज्जा च मृडया कामवस्तुराचके तत्त्वाजामि ब्रह्मणा वन्दमानस्तदाशा आस्ते यजमानो हविर्भिः अहेडमानो वरुणेह बोद्धिरुषगं समान आयुप्रमोषैः अस्मिन् कलशे ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः वरुणमावाहयामि स्थापयामि पूजयामि वरुण महागणपतये नमः ध्यायामि ध्यानं समर्पयामि आवाहयामि आसनं समर्पयामि पादयोः पाद्यं हस्तयोः अर्घ्यं मुखे आचमनीयं समर्पयामि ओम मापोहिष्ठामजो भुवस्थानपूज्ये दधातना महेरणाजदक्षसे गवश्वतमोरथस्तस्य भाजयते हनः उषतीरिव मातरः तस्मात् रङ्गमामदोजस्तक्षया जयतः आपूजने भाजनः आमं प्रयामि वस्त्र प्रविष्ट आभरणार्थम् अक्षता समर्पयामि दिव्यपरिमळ गन्धं गन्धस्य उपरि हरिद्राचूर्णं कुङ्कुमचूर्णं मङ्गलद्रव्याणि समर्पयामि ओम सुमुखाय नमः एकदन्ताय नमः कपिलाय नमः गजकर्णकाय नमः लंबोदराय नमः विकटाय नमः विघ्नराजाय नमः धूम्रकेतवे नमः गणाध्यक्षाय नमः हालचंद्राय नमः कुमारगुरवे नमः मूषिकवाहनाय नमः सर्वसिद्धि विनायकाय नमः वरुणाय नमः प्रचेतसे नमः अपांपतये नमः तीर्थराजाय नमः मकरभूषणाय नमः आशहस्ताय नमः वरुणाय नमः महागणपतये नमः नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि तथा धूपमाघ्रापयामि रसाङ्गो गुग्गुलो धूपो सुगन्धं च मनोहरः कपिलाग्रतसंयुक्तो धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यतां महागणपतिवरुणाभ्यां नमः परिमलधूपमाघ्रापयामि स्थापितप्रत्यक्षदीपं दर्शयामि धूपदीपानन्तरमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि निर्वत्ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಹಣ್ಣು ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಾವೃಷಂ ಚ ಪುಂಡರೀಕಾಕ್ಷಾಯ ನಮಃ ರಾತ್ರಮಧ್ಯಾಸಂಧ್ಯಾಯಾಂ ತ್ರಿಮೂರ್ತಿರ್ವೇದಮಾತರಂ चतुर्विंशद्गणरूप्यं गायत्रीं भास्वते नमः प्राणाय स्वाहा अपानाय स्वाहा ज्ञानाय स्वाहा उदानाय स्वाहा समानाय स्वाहा ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा ब्रह्मणिमात्मामृतत्वाय अवाहितमहागणपतिवरुणाभ्यां नमः कदलीफले निवेद्याय मध्ये मध्ये मृदवाणीयमुत्तराभूषणं हस्तप्रक्षालनं पादप्रक्षालनं पुनराचमनं समर्पयामि पूगीफलताम्बूलं समर्पयामि हिरण्यगर्भाद्रुमः सुवर्णपुष्पदक्षिणां समर्पयामि कर्पूरनीराजनम् एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ती प्रचोदयात् मम मकरध्वजाय विद्महे पाशहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नो वरुणः प्रचोदयात् महागणपतिवरुणाभ्यां नमः कर्पूरनीराजनं दर्शयामि नीराजनानन्तरम् आचमनं समर्पयामि परिमलपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि रक्षां धारयेत् महागणपति की जय। नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रणवपतये नमस्ते लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्नविनाशिने शिवत्वादृष्टिवरदमुक्तये नमो नमः महागणपतये नमः वेदोक्तपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष रक्ष विनायक वरुणदेव नमस्तुभ्यं भक्तानाम् अभयप्रभो मम गृहे वंश अभिवृद्धि सिद्धिं कुरु सर्वदा। श्री महागणपतये नमः। मनोरथान् प्रार्थयामि मया पूजया। महागणपतिनाभ्यां मित्रं देवं मित्रधेयन्नोऽस्तु अनुराधान् विशावर्धयन्तः शतं जीवेम सरदस्य वीराः वृद्धिं भवन्तो ब्रुवन्तो वृद्ध्यतां वृद्ध्यस्वं वृद्धिः वर्षशतं सम्पूर्णमस्तु विष्णुगोत्राभिवृद्धिरस्तु शान्तिपुष्टिस्तुष्टिश्चास्तु दधिक्राव्नो कार्यं जिष्णोरस्वस्य वाजिनः सुरभिनोमुखाकर्पण आयोगुञ्चितारुषत आपोहिष्ठामयो भवस्तानपूज्ये दधातन महेरणा चतुक्षसे योऽवश्यवतमोरसस्तस्य भाजयते हरः उशतीरिव मातरः तस्मा अरङ्गवामभोजस्तक्षजा जगन्मथ आपो जनयथाचनः हिरण्यवर्णाशुचेः तावकायाशु जातः कश्यपोजास्विन्द्रः अग्नीया गर्भं दुद्रे विरूपास्तान आवश्यग्स्वना भवन्तो व्यासाग्राजावृणो जातमध्ये सत्यामृते औपश्यं जनानां मधुश्रुतश्च च योजाः पावकास्तान आवश्यग्स्वना भवन्तो यासां देवादिकण्वन्तवक्षञ्जान्तरिक्षे बहुधा भवन्ति याः पृथिवीपयसं दन्तशक्रास्तान आपश्यग्स्वना भवन्तो शिवेन मा चक्षुदापश्चदापश्चवया तनवो वक्त्रचदत्तजं मे सर्वागुम् अग्नेगुं रक्षुषदो हव्यवोरैवर्चोवलमोजो निधत्ता अवमानस्वर्जनः पवित्रेण वितर्षणिः यः पूतासु पुनातुमा पुनन्तुमा देवजनाः पुनन्तनवोधिया पुनन्त विश्व आयवः जातवेदपवित्रवद पवित्रेण पुनाहिम शुक्रेण देवदीर्यत अग्ने कृत्वा कृतो गुंवृणो यत्ते पवित्रमर्चिषि अग्नेवतमस्तरा ब्रह्मतेन पुनीमहे उपाभ्या अं देवसवितः पवित्रेण सवेद च इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे वैश्वदेवी पुनते देव्यागात् यस्यै भक्तिस्तनवो वीतपृष्टाः तया मदन्तस्समाद्येषु अयज्ञस्यामृतयोरगेणां वैश्वानरो रक्तिभिर्वापनातो मातः प्राणेनेश्वरोमयो भूः या वा पृथिवी वयसाभियोभिः वृतावली यज्ञये मापनीतां बृहद्भिस्सविधत्वभिः परिशिष्टैर्देवगन्धभिः अग्ने दक्षैः पुनाहिमा येन देवा पुनता येनापोद्व्यङ्कषः येन दिव्येन ब्रह्मणा इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे यः पावमाने रज्येते ऋषभिसंवृतगुम्प्रसं तस्मै सरस्वती दुहे क्षीरगं सर्पिर्मदोदकं पावमाने स्वस्तेनीः सुदुगाहि पयस्वतीः ऋषभिसंवृतोरसः ब्राह्मणे स्मृतगं हितं पावमानेर्दिशन्तु नः इमं लोकमथो मम कामात् समर्थयन्तु नः देवैर्देवैः समाधृताः पावमाने स्वस्तेनीः सुदुगाहि द्युतस्तुतः ऋषभिसंवृतोरसः ब्राह्मणे स्मृतगं हितं तेन देवाः पवित्रेण आत्मानं पुनते सदा तेन सहस्रधारेण पावमान्यपुनन्तु मां प्राजापत्यं पवित्रं शतोज्यामुगुम्भिरन्वयं तेन ब्रह्मविदोऽयं पूतं ब्रह्म मनीमहे इन्द्रस्य नीते सहमा पुनातो सोमस्वस्त्यावरणसमीच्या नमो राजा आप्रमृणाहि पुनातमा जातवेदामुर्जयन्त्या पुनातो भूर्भुवस्सुवो भूर्भुवस्सुवो भूर्भुवस्सुवः अस्मात् कुम्भातु वरुणाभ्यां नमः वरुणाय नमः यथास्थानतः प्रतिष्ठापयामि शोभनार्थे क्षेमाय पुनः आगमनाय च राज्यां विशदेवाः तुजो मार्जयन्तां सहस्रांशमासाप्तरो मार्जयन्ताम् अपूपस्पश्य तीच्यां स्पृहाप्सोमर्जितं ईच्छा निशापोषदयो वनस्पतयो मार्जयन्तां भूर्भायां संवत्सराय ज्ञातन्मार्जयताम् अपवित्रः पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सभाख्या अभ्यन्तरशुचिः सर्वाणि स्थलानि शुचीनि भवन्तो ब्रुवन्तु भवन्तु शुचीनि प्राणायाम्य मत्तत्सर प्राणायाम अंगुल्याग्रैः नासिकाग्रं संपीड्यं पापनाशनं प्राणायामदं प्रोक्तं ऋषिभिः परिकल्पितं गोमापोज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्सुवरो अद्यमया पूर्वोच्चरित एवं गुण विशेषण विशिष्टायां अस्यां पुण्यतिथौ
पुण्यतिथौ
यजमानस्य
यजमानस्य
मातुः
मातुः
विष्णुगोत्रायाः
विष्णुगोत्रायाः
नागरत्न
नागरत्न
दायी
दायी
वसुरूपायाः
वसुरूपाय
प्रेतायाः
प्रेताय
प्रेतत्व
प्रेतत्व
विमोकार्थं
विमोकार्थं
जन्म
जन्म
प्रभृति
प्रवृत्ति
एतत्
एतत्
क्षण
क्षण
पर्यन्तं
पर्यन्तं
मध्ये
मध्ये
वर्तनि
वर्तनि
काले
काले
संभावित
संभावित
समस्तविध
समस्तविध
पाप
पाप
क्षयद्वारा
क्षयद्वारा
श्री परमेश्वर
परमेश्वर
प्रीत्यर्थं
प्रीत्यर्थं
बाल्य
बाल्य
यौवन
यौवन
कौमार
कौमार
वार्धक्य
वार्धक्य
जाग्रत
जाग्रत
स्वप्न
स्वप्न
सुषुप्त्यादि
इत्यादि
अवस्थासु
अवस्थासु
मनो
मनो
वाक्काय
वाक्काय
कर्मभिः
कर्मभिः
ज्ञानतः
ज्ञानतः
अज्ञानतश्च
ज्ञानतस्य
कृतानां
कृतानां
समस्तविध
समस्तविध
पापानां
पापानां
निवारण
निवारण
द्वारा
द्वारा
विष्णुलोक
विष्णुलोक
अवाप्ति
अवाप्ति
अर्थम
अर्थम
उत्क्रांति
उत्क्रांति
गोदानं
गोदानं
प्रत्याम्नाय
प्रत्याम्नाय
हिरण्यदानं
हिरण्यदानं
करिष्ये
करिष्ये
गवाम्
गवाम्
अंगेषु
अंगेषु
तिष्ठन्ति
तिष्ठन्ति
भुवनानि
भुवनानि
चतुर्दश
चतुर्दश
तस्मादस्य
तस्मादस्य
प्रदानेन
प्रदायेन
मतशान्तिं
तस्शान्तिं
प्रयच्छमे
प्रयच्छमे
उत्क्रान्ति
उत्क्रान्ति
गोदान
गोदान
प्रत्याम्नाय
प्रत्याम्नाय
हिरण्यं
हिरण्यं
ब्राह्मणाय
ब्राह्मणाय
तुभ्यमहं
तुभ्यमयं
सम्प्रदते
सम्प्रदते
न मम
न मम
तिलाः
किलाः
काश्यप
काश्यप
सम्भूताः
सम्भूताः
विष्णोः
विष्णोः
देह
देह
समुद्भवाः
समुद्भवाः
तिलपात्र
तिलपात्र
प्रदानेन
प्रदानेन
अतशान्तिं
अतः शान्तिं
प्रयच्छमे
प्रयच्छमे
तिलदानं
तिलदानं
ब्राह्मणाय
ब्राह्मणाय
तुभ्यमहं
तुभ्यमहं
सम्प्रदते
सम्प्रदते
न मम
न मम
न मम
न मम
पूर्वे
पूर्वे
उच्चरित
उच्चरित
एवं गुण विशेषण
विशेषण
विशिष्टायां
विशिष्टायाम्
अस्यां पुण्यतिथौ
पुण्यतिथौ
यजमानस्य
यजमानस्य
मातुः
मातुः
विष्णुगोत्रायाः
विष्णुगोत्राः
नागरत्नादायि
नागरत्नादायि
त्रैतायाः
प्रेतायाः
प्रेतत्व
प्रेतत्व
विमोक
विमोक
अर्थं
अर्थं
दशदान
दशदान
प्रत्याम्नाय
प्रत्याम्नाय
हिरण्यदानं
हिरण्यदानं
करिष्ये
करिष्ये
गोभूतिल
गोभूतिल
हिरण्य
हिरण्य
आद्य
आद्य
वासौ
वासौ
धान्य
धान्य
गुडानि च
गुडानि च
रौप्यं
रौप्यं
लवणम्
लवणम्
इत्याहुः
इत्याहुः
दशदानाः
दशदानाः
प्रकीर्तिताः
प्रकीर्तिताः
दशदान
दशदान
प्रत्याम्नाय
प्रत्याम्नाय
हिरण्य
हिरण्य
दानं
दानं
ब्राह्मणाय
ब्राह्मणाय
तुभ्यमहं
तुभ्यमहं
सम्प्रदते
सम्प्रदते
दत्तं
दत्तं
न मम
न मम
प्राण
प्राण
उत्क्रमण
उत्क्रमण
काले
काले
समस्त
समस्त
पाप
पाप
क्षयद्वारा
क्षयद्वारा
श्री परमेश्वर
श्रीपरमेश्वर
प्रीत्यर्थं
प्रीत्यर्थं
विष्णुलोक
विष्णुलोक
सायुज्य
सायुज्य
सिद्ध्यर्थं
सिद्ध्यर्थं
कांस्यपात्र
कांस्यपात्र
प्रदानं
प्रदानं
करिष्ये
करिष्ये
इदं
इदं
कांस्यपात्र
कांस्यपात्र
प्रत्याम्नाय ब्राह्मणाय
ब्राह्मणाय
तुभ्यमहं
तुभ्यमहं
सम्प्रदते
सम्प्रदते
दत्तं न मम न मम पूर्व उच्चरित एवं गुण विशेषण विशिष्टायां अस्यां पुण्यतिथौ यजमानस्य मातुः विष्णुगोत्रायाः नागरत्न दायी यजमानस्य मातृः देह शुद्ध्यर्थं पंचगव्य प्रोक्षण मेलनं करिष्ये ओम आप्यायस्व समेतते विश्वतस्व वरुष्णयं भवावादिस्व संगते धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् पूर्वे गोमूत्रं गन्धद्वारान्दुराधर्षां नित्यपुष्टाङ्करेषिणे ईश्वरीं सर्वभूतानां तां योपक्वये श्रियं गोमयं गोमूत्रम् आप्याजस्वसमेतुते श्रुतस्वावृष्णयं भवावाजिस्सरङ्गते क्षीरं निधाय ॐ दधिक्राव्णोऽकार्षं जिष्णोरश्वस्य वाजिनः सुरभिनो मुखाकल्पण आयोगं चितार्षत दधिं निधाय शुक्रमसि ज्योतिरसि तेजोऽसि देवो वत्सवितोत्पन्ना तच्छिद्रेण पवित्रेण वसो सूर्यस्य रश्मिभिः आज्यं निधाय प्रणवेन आलोड्य ओंकार ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಓಂ प्रणवेन आलोड्य देवस्तत्वासुतप्रसवे एष्वनो बाहुभ्य अंबूष्णो हस्ताभ्य ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಮತ್ತು ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಓಂ ಯತ್ವಗಸ್ತಿಗತಂ ಪಾಪಂ ದೇಹೇ ತಿಷ್ಠತೆ ಮಾಮಕೆ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣಾತ್ ಪಂಚಗವ್ಯಸ್ಯ ದಹತ್ಯಗ್ನಿರಿವೇಂಧನಂ अपवित्रः पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थाङ्गतोऽपि वा न स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सवाह्य अभ्यन्तरशुचिः नारायण 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 ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮೊದಲು ಗಣಪತಿ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪುಣ್ಯಾಹ ವಾಚನ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಕಲಶದಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಣನನ್ನು ಆವಾಹನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ನೀರಿನಿಂದ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಈ ಸ್ಥಳವೆಲ್ಲ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಯಿತು. ಅಂತಃಶುದ್ಧಿ ಬಹಿಶುದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ವಿಧ, ಅಂದರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಂತ್ರದಿಂದ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಂತಃಶುದ್ಧಿ. ದೇಹವನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕೋ ಲೇಪನಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಿಶುದ್ಧಿ. ಬಾಕಿಯಾಗಿ ಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಅಂತಃಶುದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತ ಬಹು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆ ವರುಣ ಮಳೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಭೂಮಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆ ಮಳೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ದೇವತೆ ಆವಾಹನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ನೀರನ್ನು ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಸ್ಥಳವೆಲ್ಲ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಉತ್ಕ್ರಮಣ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣವು ಹೋಗುವಂತಹ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಒಂದು ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಬೈಕ್ಗಳು ತರುತ್ತೆ ಆಸೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಆ ಆಸೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಸಹಜವಾಗಿ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಬದುಕಿದ್ದೇನೆ ನಾನು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಂತ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದು ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅಸತ್ಯವಾದರೂ ಸಹ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಯಾರಿಗಾಗಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಅಂಥ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರಾಣ ಉತ್ಕ್ರಮಣ ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಆಸೆಗಳು ಅಂತೆ ಆಸೆಗಳು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ದಶದಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಮೊದಲು ಉತ್ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಗೋದಾನ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಉತ್ಕ್ರಮಣ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಆಸೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಗೋದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಾಮ್ನಾಯವಾಗಿ ದಕ್ಷಿಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಗೋವು ಅಂತಂದು ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರತೀಕ. ಏನೇ ಆ ಗೋವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಸ್ತ ದೇವತೆಗಳು ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರತೀಕ. ಅಂತಹ ಗೋದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಏತಕ್ಕೆ ಗೋದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯಜ್ಞ ಯಾಗಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜರು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರಿಗೆ ಋಷಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಗೋದಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವರು ಅವರ ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅದರಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಹಾಲು ಮತ್ತು ತುಪ್ಪದಿಂದ ಹೋಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ತುಪ್ಪದಿಂದ ಹೋಮ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಪರಿಸರವೆಲ್ಲ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಗ ಸಮಾಜವೆಲ್ಲ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಗೋದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಕೃತ ಈ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಉತ್ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಗೋದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಆ ದೇಹಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಆಸೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಈಡೇರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಉತ್ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಗೋದಾನ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಿಲದಾನ, ಎಳ್ಳು ದಾನ ಮಾಡಿಸಬೇಕು. ಎಳ್ಳು ಅನ್ನೋದು ವಿಷ್ಣುವಿನ ಶರೀರದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಶ್ವೇತ ಬಿಂದುಗಳೇ ಎಳ್ಳಾಗಿದೆ. ವಿಷ್ಣೋ ದೇಹ ಸಮುದ್ಭವ ಅಂತಹ ಎಳ್ಳನ್ನು ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಲೋಕ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಂಸ್ಯ ದಾನ. ಕಾಂಸ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬಂಗಾರ, ಪ್ರಕೃತ ನಮಗೆ ಇದು ಬಂಗಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾನ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ, ಬಂಗಾರದಿಂದ ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಕಾಂಸ್ಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರದಾನೇನ ಸರ್ವೇ ತುಷ್ಟಂತಿ ಜಂತವಹ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಂತಹ ಆಸೆ ಸಹ ಈಡೇರಿಕೆ ಪೂರೈಸಿದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಸ್ಯ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ. ಮತ್ತು ಆ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಲೋಕ ಸಿಗಬೇಕೆಂಬುದಾಗಿ ದಶದಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಗೋದಾನ, ಭೂದಾನ, ತಿಲದಾನ, ಹಿರಣ್ಯದಾನ, ಆಜ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ತುಪ್ಪದಾನ, ವಾಸ ಅಂದರೆ ವಸ್ತ್ರದಾನ, ಮತ್ತು ಧಾನ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬೇಳೆ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಧಾನ್ಯ, ಮತ್ತು ಗುಡ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಲ್ಲ, ರೌಪ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ, ಲವಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಉಪ್ಪು. ಇಂತಹ ದಶದಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು 1 ವರ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದವರೆಗೂ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಆಗದೇ ಇರೋ ಥರ ನೋಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ದಶದಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಈಗ ಪಂಚಗವ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪಂಚ ಅಂದರೆ 5, ಗವ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಹಸು. ಹಸುವಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ 5 ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನು ಅಂದರೆ ಗೋಮಯ, ಗೋಮೂತ್ರ, ಹಾಲು, ಮೊಸರು ಮತ್ತು ತುಪ್ಪ ಇವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಣವದಿಂದ ಅಂದರೆ ಓಂಕಾರದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಲಕಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಣವದಿಂದ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಂಚಗವ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯತ್ವಗಸ್ತಿ ಗತಂ ಪಾಪಂ ದೇಹೇ ತಿಷ್ಠಂತಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿನಃ ತತ್ಕ್ರಾತ್ ತದೇನ ಶುದ್ಧ್ಯರ್ಥಂ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯತ್ವಗಸ್ತಿ ಹಿಂದಿನ 7 ಜನ್ಮಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಸ್ಥಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂಳೆ. ಬಂದಿರೋ ಮೂಳೆನೂ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂತಹ ಮೂಳೆಯಿಂದ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಪಾಪವೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಪಂಚಗವ್ಯ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂಥ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪಾಪವೂ ಸಹ ಯತ್ವಗಸ್ತಿ ಗತಂ ಪಾಪಂ ದೇಹೇ ತಿಷ್ಠಂತಿ ಜಂತಃ. ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂಟಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಪಾಪವೂ ಸಹ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಭಸ್ಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಸಹ ಭಸ್ಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ. ಮತ್ತು ಈಗ ಆ ಶರೀರದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇಹದಿಂದ ಶರೀರ, ದೇಹದಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮ ಅನ್ನುವುದು ಬೇರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಆದರೂ ಸಹ ನಮಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇರಬಹುದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಇಂತಹ ನೇತ್ರಗಳಿಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣವು ಉತ್ಕ್ರಮಣ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೋಗುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಆತ್ಮ ಶಾಂತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವ, ಆತ್ಮಶಾಂತಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಈಗ ಆ ಬಲಗಿವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಓಂಕಾರವನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಜಪಿಸಬೇಕು. ಈ ಎಂಡು ಕಿವಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಿ ಈ ಎಂಡನ್ನು ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಅಂತ 8 ಸಲ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಮಂತ್ರಂ ಅಷ್ಟವಾರಂ ಜಪೇತ್. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ, 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 ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಇತಿ ಅಷ್ಟವಾರಂ ಜಪೇತ್. ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ್ಯ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಅಂಗುಳ್ಯಾಗ್ರೈಃ ನಾಸಿಕಾಗ್ರಂ ಸಂಪೀಡ್ಯಂ ಪಾಪನಾಶನಂ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದಂ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ತಂ ಋಷಿಭಿಃ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪಂ ಭೂಮಾಪೋ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರಸೋ ಅಮೃತಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಭೂರ್ಭುವಸ್ಸುವರೋ. ಅದ್ಯಮಯ ಪೂರ್ವ ಉಚ್ಚರಿತ ಏವಂ ಗುಣ ವಿಶೇಷಣ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟಾಯಾಂ ಅಸ್ಯಾಂ ಪುಣ್ಯತಿಥೌ ಯಜಮಾನಸ್ಯ ಮಾತುಃ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಗೋತ್ರಾಯಾಃ ನಾಗರತ್ನ ತಾಯಿ ಪ್ರೇತಾಯಾಃ ಪ್ರೇತತ್ವ ವಿಮೋಕಾರ್ಥಂ ದಹನಕಾಲೇ ಪ್ರಾಯಶ್ಚಿತ್ತ ಹೋಮಾಖ್ಯಂ ಕರ್ಮ ಕರಿಷ್ಯೇ. लेखनाद्यग्निप्रतिष्ठापनं करिष्ये तिस्रो रेखालिखित्वा उदीचेस्तिस्रो रेखालिखित्वा अवाचीनेन पाणिनाद्भिः अवोच्छाष्कलमाग्नेयमिन्द्रस्य बुद्धोस्फुरमित्यग्निं प्रतिष्ठाप्य बुद्धोस्फुरमित्यग्निं प्रतिष्ठाप्य ज्ञानपात्रयोः अच्युतोदकं विनीय अग्निविद्ध्वा चत्वारि शृङ्गात्रयो सगादाग्नेर्षे रक्तहस्तास्वस्य धृताबद्धो शभोरोरवीतमहो देवो मृत्यागुमावेशाग्निमूर्तिं ध्यायामि येष हि देवप्रतिसंसर्वाः पूर्वो हि जातः सौगर्भे अन्तः स विजायमानस्य विरक्ष्यमाणप्रत्यङ्मुखः आस्तिष्ठति विश्वतोमुखः हे ज्ञेत्राङ्मुखो देवा प्रत्यङ्मुखस्संलग्नेश्वर मम अभिमुखो वरदो भव समन्ततोऽग्निं परिशिच्य अग्निमलंकृत्य इंटु कडेगू अग्नये नमः स्वल्प जातवेदसे नमः सहोदसे नमः अजिराप्रभवे नमः वैश्वानराय नमः मर्यापसे नमः पंक्तिराजसे नमः निसर्पणे नमः मध्ये श्रीयज्ञपुरुषाय नमः अलंकृत्य परिस्थिर्य प्राच्यां दक्षिणस्यां पराग्रेः तदीक्षां तृतीयैः उत्तरस्यां प्राग्रेः प्रादेशमात्रैः बाहुमात्रैः गर्भैः परिस्तृणीयात् पूर्व पश्चिम परिसृणं मूलयोर दक्षिण परिसृणं एवं परिस्थिर्य ब्रह्मासनार्थम् अग्नेर दक्षिणतः कांसुदता प्राग्राणास्त्रिय अग्नेर अपराजितां दिशमारभ्य स्मारभ्य प्रदक्षिणं कुर्यात् स्वाहा अग्नजयं नमः ओं भुवस्वाहा भुवस्वाहा वायुवेदं नमः ओं सुवस्वाहा सूर्याजेदं नमः ओं भूर्भुवस्वाहा प्रजापतय इदं नमः दहन काले देहस्य सर्वविध पाप क्षयद्वारा श्री परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम प्रायश्चित्त होमं करिष्ये ओं भूर्भुवस्सुवः स्वाहा प्रजापतये इदं नमः श्री विष्णवे स्वाहा विष्णवे परमात्मने इदं नमः ओं नमो रुद्राय पशुपतये स्वाहा रुद्राय पशूनां अधिपतये इदं नमः उपस्पृश्य यज्ञपुरुषाय नमः अनेन प्रायश्चित्त होमेन भगवान् सर्वात्मकः विघ्नेश्वरः सुप्रीणातु अनेन मया आचरित यजमानस्य मातुः विष्णु गोत्रायाः नागरत्न रायी प्रेतायाः दहनकाले सर्वविध उष्णताप निवारणार्थं सर्व पाप क्षयद्वारा श्री परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम् आचरित होमेन विघ्नेश्वरः सुप्रीणातु सुप्रीनाथु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्व बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतेः स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि विष्णुः 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 ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರದಕ್ಷಿಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ? ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಸೂಪರ್ ಈಸಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ರೋಸ್ ಇದೆ, ರೋಸ್ ಕೊಡು.
ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಇದು ಮುಗಿಲು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಚೂರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅರಿಶಿನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಎಣ್ಣೆಗೆ ಹಚ್ಚಬೇಕು, ಕುಂಕುಮ ಇಡಬೇಕು.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು?
ಅರಿಶಿನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕೆನ್ನೆಗೆ ಹಚ್ಚಬೇಕು, ಕುಂಕುಮ ಇಡಬೇಕು ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರದಕ್ಷಿಣೆ ಹೌದೌದು. ಈಗ ಆಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಶಾಂತ
ಇದು ಕೊಡಿ ಕೊಡಿ. ಹಾಂ
ಪ್ರದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾವ
3 ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ನೀವು ಇಬ್ಬರು 3 ಸಲ ಮಾಡಿ, ಉಳಿದವರು ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಸಾಕು. ಓಂ ಶನ್ನೋ ಮಿತ್ರಶಂ ವರುಣಃ ಶನ್ನೋ ಭವತ್ಪರ್ಯಮ ಶನ್ನೋ ಇಂದ್ರೋ ಬೃಹಸ್ಪತಿಃ ಶನ್ನೋ ವಿಷ್ಣುರ್ನಮಃ ನಮೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣೇ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ವಾಯೋ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸಿ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ತ್ವಂ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಸತ್ಯಂ ವದಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ತನ್ಮಾಮವತ್ ತದ್ವಕ್ತಾರಮವತು ಅವತು ಮಾಂ ಅವತು ವಕ್ತಾರಂ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿಃ. ಶಿಕ್ಷಾಮ್ಯಾ ಆಚ್ಛಾಸ್ಯಾಮಃ ವರ್ಣಸ್ವರಃ ಮಾತ್ರಾಬಲಂ ಸಾಮಸಂತಾನಃ ಇತ್ಯುಕ್ತಶ್ರೀ ಸಹ ಪುರುಷಃ ಸಹ ನೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವರ್ಚಸಂ ಮುಖಾತಸ್ಯ ದುಂಭಿತಾಯ ಉಪನಿಷದಂ ಯಾ ಆಚ್ಛಾಸ್ಯಾಮಃ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞಜನಮೇಷು ಅಧಿಲೋಕಮಧಿಜ್ಯೋತಿಷಮಧಿವಿದ್ಯಮಧಿಪ್ರಜಮಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಂ तामः सगुम्भिता इत्याचक्षते अथाभिलोकं पृथिवीपूर्वरूपं जौरुत्तररूपं नादस्सन्धानम् आकाशस्सन्धिः वायुस्सन्धानम् इत्यधिलोकम् अथादिज्योतिषं प्रत्यक्षरूपम् आदित्य उत्तररूपम् आपस्सन्धिः वैद्युतस्सन्धानम् इत्यादिज्योतिषम् अथादिविद्यम् आचार्यं पूर्वरूपम् अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपं विद्यासन्धिः प्रवचनगुं संधानम्.
ಇದು ಈ ಸೀರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರು ಉಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಉಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಾಕಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೀರೆ ಮೂಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು
ಸೀರೆ ಅವ್ರ ದರ್ಶನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಂದ.
अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपं विद्यासन्धिः प्रवचनगुं संधानम् इत्यधिविद्यम् अथा विप्रजम् आदापूर्वरूपम् इतोत्तररूपम् प्रजासन्धिः प्रजननगुं संधानम् इत्यधिप्रजम् अथा व्याप्तम् अथराहनपूर्वरूपम् उत्तराहनुरुत्तररूपम् वाक्सन्धिः जिह्वासन्धानम् इत्यध्यात्मम् इति मा महासकुम्भिताः य एवमेता महासकुम्भिता व्याख्याता वेदा सन्धीयते प्रजया पशुभिः ब्रह्मवर्चनेनास्माद्योगलोकेन यश्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्यो द्विजितात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आस्पृणोतो अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयोऽसं शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमस्तमा कृणावाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽस्य मेधया पिहितः कृतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ते विसंवाना वाणाचीरमात्मनः आसागुं सुमभगावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रुयमावह अशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा इमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्य सोसानि स्वाहा तन्त्वाभगप्रविशानि स्वाहा समाभगप्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे विभगाहं त्वजमृजे स्वाहा तथा प्रवतायन्ति तथा मासा आहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमादाहि प्रमादज्यस्व भूर्भुवस्सु वरितिवा एतास्तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासामुहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते महदिति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अङ्गान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुवरित्यन्तरिक्षं युवरित्यसौ लोकः महदित्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः आಯ್ತಲ್ರು ಸೀರೆ भूरिति वा अग्निः भुवरिति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः महदिति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिर्गुं शमहीयन्ते भूरिति वा ऋचः भुवरिति सामानि सुवरिति महदिति ब्रह्मा ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः ताजो वेद स वेदं ब्रह्म सर्वे तस्मै देवा बलिमा वहन्ति स य एषो अन्तर्हृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः ततो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एषस्तनयुवा बलम्बते ये एन्द्रयोनिः यत्राशोके शान्तो विवर्तते यकोर्चशीर्षकपाले भूरिजग्नो प्रतिष्ठति बिली बಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕೂರ್ಚೋದು ಒದಿಸಿ भवदिति वायो सुवरित्यादित्ये महदिति ब्रह्मणे आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिम् वाक्पतिश्चक्रपतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः चेतत्ततो भवति शरीरं ब्रह्मा डबल ಮಾಡಿ ಆಕಾಶಶರೀರಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸತ್ಯಾತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಾಯ ಮನ ಆನಂದಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಮೃದ್ಧಂ ಇತಿ
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ವಿಜಯ್ ಒಡವೆ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಂತೆ ಮಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ
भवदिति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्ये महदिति ब्रह्मणे आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धमृतम् इति प्राचीनयोगा पृथिव्यन्तरिक्षं द्यौर्दिशो वान्तरिक्षाः अग्निर्वायुरादित्यश्चन्द्रमानक्षत्राणि आपवोषधयो वनस्पतय आकाश आत्मा इत्यदिभूतम् अथाध्यात्मं प्राणोऽज्ञानोपानमुदानः समानः चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाक्पतो चर्ममागुं सर्गस्नावास्थिमज्जा एतदविदादिर्शरगोचतो कान्तं वा इदगुं सर्वं कान्तेनैव वान्तव्यस्पृणोतीति ओमिति ब्रह्मा ओमिति इदगुं सर्वम् ओमित्येतदनुकृत्यात्मवा अप्योश्रावयेत्याश्रावयन्ति ओमिति सामानिजायन्ति ओगुं सोमिति शस्त्राणि सगुंसन्ति ओमित्यध्वर्यप्रतिगणं प्रतिगृणाति ओमिति ब्रह्मा प्रसौति ओमित्यग्निहोत्रमनुजानाति ओमिति ब्राह्मणप्रवच्छन्नाः ब्रह्मोपाप्नवामीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति सत्यं च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च सत्यं च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च नमश्च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च अज्ञयश्च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रं च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च अतिथयश्च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च मानुषं च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च सजा च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च सजनश्च स्वाध्यायप्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यमचारातीतरः तप इति तपो नित्यपौरुषिष्टिः स्वाध्यायप्रवचने ये वेति नाको मौद्यल्यः तद्धितपस्तद्धितपः अहं वृक्षस्तरेरिव कीर्तिः पृष्ठङ्गरेरिव ऊर्ध्वपवित्रो वाजिनीवः समृतमस्मे द्रविणपुं सवर्चसं सुमेधा अमृतोक्षितः इति त्रिशङ्कोर्वेदानुवचनं वेदमनोच्याचार्योऽन्ते वासिनमनुशास्त्रे सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः आचार्याय प्रियं धर्माहृत्य प्रजातन्तं मा यवत्सेत्सीः सत्यान्न प्रमदितव्यं धर्मान्न प्रमदितव्यं कुशलान्न प्रमदितव्यं भूत्यैन प्रमदितव्यं स्वाध्यायप्रवचनाभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं देवपितृकार्याभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं प्लीज रिपीट मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव यान्यनवद्यानु कर्माणि तानि सेवितव्यानि नो इतराणि श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय। प्रिय भगवान विष्णु नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। विष्णवे नमः संप्रार्थ्य
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
So we will need just a few minutes to prepare. Once we're in position at the crematory, I'll come for the photo.
Okay, no problem.
You just wait right in
This
here.
way?
It will be.
I have to go inside.
Okay.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait up there. Take her out of there.
Okay.
And the letters need to go in. The letters need to go in. Hold
Did
on.
you retrieve
Do you want me to move
anything that
this?
needs to come
Oh
out?
yeah, but
there.
now I need to put something.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
ಹೌದು ಮುಂದೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ
ಸರಿ ಓಕೆ
ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ
ಓಕೆ
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಾತೃದೇವೋ ಭವ, ಪಿತೃದೇವೋ ಭವ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ದೇವೋ ಭವ, ಅತಿಥಿ ದೇವೋ ಭವ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನಿರ್ದೇಶನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಋಷಿಗಳು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ವೇ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾತೃದೇವೋ ಭವ ಅಂದರೆ ತಾಯಿಯೇ ದೇವರು, ತಂದೆಯೇ ದೇವರು. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥ ಗುರುಗಳು, ಟೀಚರ್, ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗಾಡ್. ಅತಿಥಿ ದೇವೋ ಭವ, ಗೆಸ್ಟ್, ಅವರು ಸಹ ನಮಗೆ ದೇವರ ಸಮಾನ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನು ಬಯಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಿರಿಯರು, ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಎಂಥವರೆಲ್ಲ. ಹೀಗೆ ಇವರು ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅವರು ಹರಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವಂಶ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗಬೇಕೆಂಬುದಾಗಿ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಂಶ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ? ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಮೊಮ್ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮದುವೆ, ಹೀಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಲಭಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹಿರಿಯರ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ತುಂಬ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಮೇಲೆ 3 ಋಣಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಮಾತೃ ಅಥವಾ ಪಿತೃಋಣ, ದೇವಋಣ, ಋಷಿ ಋಣ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ನಿತ್ಯ ಆ ಋಷಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಆ ಋಷಿ ಋಣವನ್ನು ತೀರಿಸ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ನಿತ್ಯ ದೇವತಾರ್ಚನೆ, ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿಷೇಕ, ಯಜ್ಞ ಯಾಗಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ದೇವರ ಋಣವನ್ನು ತೀರಿಸ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ಮಾತೃ ಪಿತೃಋಣ ತುಂಬ ದುರ್ಲಭ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ದೇಹವು ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂಗುಷ್ಟ ಪ್ರಮಾಣೇನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ತಾಯಿಯ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗರ್ಭವಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ರೂಪದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಈ ಅಂಗುಷ್ಟ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇದು, ಈ ರೂಪದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶರೀರ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ತಾಯಿಯ ಶರೀರವೇ ಕಾರಣ ನಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನಮಗೆ ಸೈನ್ಸು ಈಗ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯಾಗಿದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮಗುಗೆ ಆಹಾರ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಾವಿರ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು? ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೂ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಿಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದಲೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಹವು ಗಂಡ ಹೆಣ್ಣ ಅಂತ ರೂಪಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಂದೆಯೇ ಕಾರಣ. ಅಂತಹ ತಾಯಿ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಆದರೆ ತಂದೆ ಪುರುಷ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಜೀವನವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅವನು ದೇಹವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥದ್ದವರು. ಮತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ದೃಢವಾಗಿರಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿರಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ ಅವರೇ ಕಾರಣ. ಅವರು ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಂತಹ ತಾಯಿಯ ಋಣ, ತಂದೆಯ ಋಣ ತೀರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಅವ್ರು ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಅನುಸರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಅವರು ದೇಹವಾದ ನಂತರ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ನಶ್ವರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ನಾಶ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಲಯ ಅಂತ. ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಲಯ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಅಂತ್ಯಕಾಲ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಅವರು ತೀರ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹೀಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಕರೆದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ಭೋಜನವನ್ನು ಏರ್ಪಾటు ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದಿಂದ ಅವರು ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಮಾತೃ ಮತ್ತು ಪಿತೃ ಋಣ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ತೀರಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇರೋದಂತಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೂ ಸಹ ತೀರಿದ ನಂತರ ನಾವು ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದು.
Just our family. ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಬರಲಿ.
Is it okay to go barefoot?
How many people? Allowed or not?
Saroja aunty. Bunny, there is room and if you want to come, you can come, all of you.
If anybody wants
Saroja aunty.
They want the video back here, please.
Just 1 second, okay?
Sandy was asking.
Where is it?
ನೋಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತದಲ್ಲ.
ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರಲಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿ ಬನ್ನಿ. Only one. Okay. I'll go.
Use one of my phone, and videotape just to send to Sanya.